Come here and you'll feel it. That a place cannot produce poems. It can only not prevent them. And Freetown is good at that, for Freetown has its own sudden elegances. People are slow to leave it, quick to return. And there are others who come for a year or two and stay for a lifetime, sensing that they've found a city that is in the world, yet sufficiently on the edge of it to have a different resonance. Let me tell you something about this city. All of us, we're all just passing through, and we've all been here forever. Those who came, those who stayed, those who never returned. Tides turn, seasons change. We've waited and we've watched. But we've always been here. We've always listened, because there is a different resonance here. It comes from the river, and the land, and the sky.
It's our place, all of us.
This city belongs to everyone.
And you know when it's your time.
And it's our time.
Listen, we are Freetown.
We are Freetown!
The golden rules of Freetown.
Don't pretend you're something that you're not.
Don't go thinking you're better than anyone else,
or that anyone else is better than you.
Don't shout about it. Get on with it.
We are Freetown.
Freetown! Freetown!
Purely dedicating it to one of our fallen heroes, David Williams, even as he passed away yesterday in a road accident. Shakur.
Yes, indeed. This particular program is being presented on a very solemn note, as we are mourning one of our best, David Williams, who was a senior camera operator at the Slbc. Well, David lost his life yesterday, in active service on his way to Cambia to cover a program and that was organized by the Budget Advocacy Network Band. Well, the accident took place between Loco and Gambia. David was somebody who was very special to us. He was a true professional. And we are really mourning because, you know, the vacuum or the gap David has left will not be easily filled. But it's just fact. As we've been hearing, glowing tributes from Sierra Leoneans at home and abroad, you know, people who have crossed the path of David, who are now, you know. Anyways, it is very difficult to understand. It is beyond human imagination. David was somebody who was very charming. He's somebody who never refused, duty. In fact, even when he was not on duty, he was always there to help. He was selfless, he was committed, he was dedicated, and his loss is a big one, it's a huge one.
So Sheku, even when David is not on schedule, he will always be in his office, making sure.
Also served President View. In fact, even after he was replaced, he was still serving because I can remember very well, we used to go to State House whenever President was giving, President View was, to deliver, a national address, public address. We are the ones who are there at State House or Lodge, wherein David or George Lewis who serve as camera operators for that speech and to be recorded. So David did not only serve former President Kenema, he also served President Yu. So he is a man. The fact that he could serve at that higher peak, the highest office on this land, David served. So that shows that David was a very exceptional person. He was very prolific. He was somebody who did all he could. He was somebody who was he was a perfectionist.
And that is why in today's edition of the program, we are dedicating it to David's memory, and we are talking to colleagues at Broadcasting House to share their memories of David. David was with us the day before yesterday. Even yesterday, he came to the office very early in the morning to collect the cameras, and then he left for Gambia. Unfortunately, along the way, David lost his life. May his soul rest in peace. And for that, we have in the studio with us this morning Kathleen O'Connor. Kathleen is a staff at the Slbc, a presenter on the radio, and she's here with us. Good morning, Kathleen, and welcome to us. So this is where we are. This is the news that we woke up to yesterday, that David passed away in a road crash.
Monday in the evening, as it's around 4-5, I saw David. He was shouting at me. Why are you shouting at the girl? Why do you want to kill her? I said, David, let her go home. I collected my daughter from school. And I said, let her go home. She has to study. She has to come to school tomorrow. I will not be finishing work until 6:30, and that will be late. And she said, okay. So he carried her to the car and talked with her. And then they left. Only for me to come in the morning yesterday when I came, I had people shouting at the reception, and I asked what happened. He said David is gone. I was fused, I was freezed. In fact, I did not know what to do. David was selfless. David loved his job. Like Shiko was saying, he's committed, he's dedicated. David would be the last person to leave this office. David is a type of person, he doesn't want any discrepancy or mishap in his production. He will tell you sit properly, sit straight. Who is in the studio? The camera is not straighting. Look at her hair, it's not properly packed. David wanted you to learn. He would say, David, how did you go about this? Sit down, let me show you. During the time of the American election, he said he is Salon Trump. Let's wait for him. He's going to sit at the White House and all of these things. And then he said, he will call you, oh mommy, what's your problem? You like to tidy your face. You like to fold your face. And you know, even President Bill that is handling the country, he has a smiling countenance. What about you? What is wrong? It is well. He will just go around and telling people, don't worry, it is well. It is well. It will be well. Don't worry. So David is, you know, he will be hard to get. He will hard to replace. David would not want you to say, if you say, David, I'm hungry, okay, wait, you're coming to eat. David, what is happening? He will never turn your job down. Come what may. David will not tell you, I will not be able to continue with your work. He will tell you, let me check my schedule, okay? This date that you wanted me to support you, I will not, but guess what? I will get somebody for you. Somebody will go and fix up your program for you. That is David. He will never say no. And to talk of money, that was not David. David will tell you, David, yes, what will we give you now? Paddy, let's go and do the job. After it will talk. And after the work, he will make sure he cleaned your work, cleaned your photos and your videos, hand it over to you, and then he will say, at your own time, I am not worried. Me no worry, forget about Andy. You will call him again. David, those people, they have not yet given me your money. Go, leave me alone. Did I ask you for money? He will not charge you. But he's the, well, except for otherwise, but there are certain people, maybe people have something to say about him, but for me, within this time I've served at SLBC that I met David, I have no odd things to say about him. David was just perfect. David was just like, he wants his job to be perfected. That was how he was. He doesn't want anything that you point out and say this was done by David. Okay. If you know, if we continue to talk about David, I don't know, but we are trying to sum up courage because it's not easy at this particular time, and we are saying our sympathy to the family and to his holy son. You know, I keep thinking, how would Emmanuel accept this? What would he say? But we leave everything in the hands of God and pray that his soul will find a resting place.
Amen. Thank you very much, Kathleen. She's Kathleen O'Connell, and she's a presenter here at Broadcasting House. And as you've heard from Kathleen, that was David. Salma Tapa is the executive TV producer. She has worked with David all this while at the SLBC. In fact, it was Salma Tapa that booked the news to staff at the SLBC yesterday, because she was called to let us know that David indeed passed away in a road accident. Sure.
Yes, indeed. As you know, David is somebody who had a very, very affable character. He was somebody with an affable character. He was approachable. He was somebody who was always willing to work. Even when he was not on duty, he was always there to give advice, because this guy we are talking about is not just an ordinary guy. Yeah. He was a true professional. Yeah. This guy would do everything. You know, he was a perfectionist. Everybody has alluded to that fact. But David was indeed a perfectionist. He wanted everything perfect. And Samantha worked with David, you know, as all of us know, we've been here for a while. And we know exactly how David has been very much instrumental in ensuring quality. So Samantha, what are some of your fond memories of David?
Okay, thank you, Sheku and Francis. Still coming to terms with exactly the death of David, like Francis mentioned. I was a person that was called yesterday, and unfortunately I had to, book this unfortunate news to management and staff of the SLBC. Fond memories can be many. In fact, on Monday, both of us were in the newsroom together. So, in fact, on a daily basis, from Monday to Saturday, we are together, always together. Because if I have my stories, in fact, the last story we did together was International Women's Day, when I had to profile, a police officer. It was a camera operator. When I have my human interest stories, have high-profile interviews, David is the camera operator I always want to work with, because professionalism, perfection is top-notch, and beside that, the equipment, there is no one that could match him in terms of well-equipped camera operator at the SLBC. So it's so much, it's really sad. David served this country selflessly. He was a camera operator, you know, attached to former President Goma. He was the official camera operator. After that, he was also assigned to the Ministry of Information and later came back home. But when you want to look at the best of the best in this country, you can't count anyone without calling the likes of David. So it's really unfortunate. I mean, I'm still coming to terms with what exactly happened, because the other colleague had the accident with Ibrahim. We are together. It was on Monday till 8 o'clock, and he said, "Boss, I'm going to Cambia today, so I cannot help you." So it's really not easy. The fond memories are many, be it, you know, good or bad. We face our challenges together at the SLBC. Regardless of the limited, you know, equipment, David was always there. He had everything that you want to work with. So he gave everything. He sacrificed for this institution. He died while working for this institution. He was on his way to Cambia to cover the Budget Advocacy Network, you know, local council series. So unfortunate, so unfortunate. David will be here up till Sunday. When the head of camera, you know, operators is not around, David is always there to give out his best. So it's really sad.
In fact, David was there on Saturday. I can remember when those matches, I mean, the Arsenal match, I mean, the female Champions League final was playing. In fact, he was the one who always, you know, he always reminded us of matches, I mean, football matches. Game day 2 o'clock, game day 1 o'clock. And in fact, he was there until the end of that match. And when Arsenal female team won the Champions League, I was saying, in fact, he supports, or he supported Man City. So I was saying, okay, for us, Arsenal won the cup. In fact, it is Champions League. And then he said, no, now woman them. Now I said, woman them, I'm woman themselves now. Woman them, not to motor man.
It's the same Arsenal.
You know, it's the same Arsenal. So that was the man. In fact, even on Sunday he was here as well. You know, we sat in that office.
7 days a week.
And on Monday also,
he came,
you know, on Monday, in fact, yeah, in fact, I went on Monday. I went I was, you know, I always see that when you go, I'm always around. I told him, okay, the DG had wanted to have a meeting with us on Tuesday. That was yesterday, and I went to inform them that DG wanted a meeting with us. I mean, the camera operators and the VTI editors, the control room staff. And he said, no, tomorrow I'll be going to the provinces. But he didn't tell me where he was going anyways. But later I came to know that, you know, he was to go to Cambia. And all of a sudden, you know, on a Tuesday morning, we had this very
sad. You know, yesterday, when you heard the news, you know, I'm not going to ask you what was the feeling, because we all know what happened yesterday. We are unable to even produce a single program at SLBC. The whole office, from management to the board members, they were there. Staff, those in the region, nobody, everybody, you know, we were just mourning. In fact, the office was as quiet as the graveyard. You know, very quiet. Everybody was sleeping after crying, after we went to the house. So as somebody who has not only been a colleague to David, but also a friend, because I could recall he would discuss family issues with us. He would say, I have this issue, and this man, the Monday before he died on Tuesday, you know, we were together, the 3 of us, and he took money from my pocket. He went to the, I was not even aware of that. After some time, he came back with the money and he gave it to me. And I was asking, what is this? This is your money, I took it from your pockets. You know, what, I don't know, what is the, I don't know.
Lots of words. But it's sad. It's really sad. Very sad.
It's really sad. So I know David find peace in this institution. David find where he could always pour his heart, like you mentioned. David has, his own circle where he discusses family issues. So it's really, really sad. And sometimes you find pleasure and peace in your own office, not even at your home. So David was that kind of person. When he's behind the camera, he's happy. That is his happy moment. So it's really, really sad. It's really, really, really sad.
And the unfortunate thing is he died with his camera.
Died with his camera.
David died.
And his jacket.
Yes, his
camera. I saw a posting. I saw a posting, in one of the platforms or forums. Somebody said he died like a soldier in his uniform.
Indeed.
And indeed he died with his jacket, not only his camera, because as you can see the photo that is now, that is now being, posted around. You can see him in his SLBC regalia. It shows how committed he was, to his job. David was able to carve a niche for himself in this profession, and he always wanted the best. David was somebody, you cannot easily see him angry. Even if he was angry, it will be just for a while, for a moment, when he will now come back to you and say, but even when he's displeased with you, he will not tell you, especially when you are, doing some job or so, he will tell you later, hey, man, what you did was not too, was not too good.
Yes, I visited Ibrahim at the hospital. Ibrahim is still, he said, I don't even know how I was actually saved during this accident. All I know, David died in my arms. It's so really sad. Really sad.
Okay, Salma Tabashi is executive producer at the Slbc and TV. She was here yesterday and she actually broke the news to management and staff of the Slbc of the passing of our colleague David Williams.
Indeed, we need to continue praying for our colleague also who is admitted. Ibrahim Samora. He's currently at the Freetown International Hospital. Where he's been, he's responding to treatment. The good news is that Ibrahim is responding to treatment, and which we need to let people know that Ibrahim Samora is responding to treatment. But you see one thing, whenever I talk about David, what comes to mind is professionalism. What comes to mind is perfection. David was a perfectionist. He always wanted the best, and indeed he was one of our best. That's why nobody, it is unquestionable, and it is just a fact. Not that we are painting him because now that he's dead. No, all of those glowing tributes to him, all what was said are true. Everything we said about David is true. He was that kind of man. He was a man with an affable character. He was somebody who was always willing to work. Even when he was not on duty, he would come to advise or to provide technical support. He was that kind of man. Now, we've been joined in the studios by SIK. So Ibrahim Kamara, one of the script editors in the newsroom, here at the SLBC. Now, sorry, what are some of your fond memories of our late colleague, David?
Thank you very much. Sheikh Sumela and Francis. And good morning to you. Indeed, at SLBC, nobody will tell you that they don't have fond memories about our late colleague and brother David Williams, who we tragically lost yesterday for a road accident. David was, like you've been saying, he was a perfectionist, he was a hard worker, he was dedicated, and above all, he was sociable. He respects everyone, irrespective of your status at the broadcasting house. I came here as an intern a few years ago, like less than 10 years ago. Among the host of people who welcomed with open arms was David. Even though he was already a senior camera operator, he had worked in the office of the president, previously. So he was a man who stood out among the rest, but yet David is very humble, down to earth. When he comes to work in the morning, he makes sure that he goes to every department, including the newsroom where I work. So we joke about everything, just like it's something common here at the broadcasting house. We joke about everything, football, about other things. I used to call him David Bamford, after the BBC reporter who reports on Africa and other parts of the world. I also call him Davido after the Nigerian musician. He was a Man City supporter and a die-hearted Trump supporter. So we used to call him.
And exactly, among reasons he gave for supporting Donald Trump was that, Donald Trump was somebody who was very honest, because whatever he says he does, whatever he does he says, and especially the way he was addressing Africa, to say yes, Africa, it's high time you woke up, African leaders woke up, do the good things for your people. I think he strongly believed in about
the ideologies of
Trump, and also in Pan-Africanism. Africa must take her own destiny into her own hands. Not always we have to depend on others to help us. So I think that was the reason he really supported Donald Trump.
Indeed. And David was so serious about supporting Donald Trump. Even in the heat of the American elections, when people said your man is, when he lost the elections to Joe Biden, and we were disturbing him, he would say, okay, you just watch out when we come back. He said it right from the first day that when Trump lost to Joe Biden. He said Trump would become president again in America, and he stood by that view, and it came to pass.
Indeed. Trump has faced a lot of criticism, sometimes from Africans, that he's racist, he does not love Africans. But when it comes to David, it's different, because David considered Trump as, when you are a leader of a country, you have to see the interests of your people first. That is David's stance. And he also mentioned about something, one of the qualities of David, honesty. Yes. David was very honest. It's something I reinforced. My brother taught me about honesty. He said, there is a popular saying that honesty is the best policy. My brother taught me about honesty, and David reinforced that quality.
And he was also selfless.
Very selfless. David is very honest. We have Mary here, Mary who serves tea at the SLBC. Mary does some kind of business, he sells water and other things. Whenever she's not around, the only person Mary entrusts with that responsibility to sell on her behalf is David. When you go to buy water or ginger beer in the camera unit, if Mary is not around, the only person who is in possession with the key to that freezer is David, because Mary trusted David. So David was kind of somebody who was very honest, and even when we go out on coverages, David is someone who believes in what belongs to Caesar, give it to Caesar.
Yes, indeed.
So the last time myself and David went on a coverage was in Bo to open the sexual offences model court. Like you've been saying, David is a perfectionist. Not to be mistaken it with, he was not pedantic, but he was just too overtly concerned with formal rules, that things should be done the way they are supposed to be done. So when we went on that coverage, even with all his status as a senior camera operator, when David is in the field, he reduces himself into kind of, just to make sure that the work goes on. When you go out to work with David, you make sure that he will make sure that he gives you all the shots that
you need. The thing is that, SIK, television is about pictures, and David always ensured that quality was provided. The one thing about television production, it is 60% pictures, 40% yes, you do your write-ups or whatsoever, and if you don't have good pictures, that is poor production. And he ensured that those pictures you are giving.
Indeed.
That was the man.
Indeed. And that also boils down to his dedication to work. David is among the utmost dedicated staff to the SLBC. You know, our work, like few other institutions, our work is 24/7. You know, even on holidays, even on weekends. But some people, when they are not on schedule, they don't come to work at SLBC. But for David, some of us come here on weekends. David comes to the SLBC 24/7. Even on a Sunday, when you come here, you meet David. And he does not only come every day. He comes and leaves very late.
Okay, thank you very much, Suriban Kamara. He is a new script editor here at the SLBC, and he is also sharing his moment with our colleague David Williams. You know, David was the trusted photographer for my family. My husband is very difficult to take pictures. It was only David who he gets my husband to sit or to get him to pose for the camera so that he will get pictures of him. Even when we just celebrated his 10th anniversary as a lawyer, David was the official cameraman at that event.
He cannot be a judge.
Yes, David was there. He was there to do the pictures of Mr. Bundo. Even the official picture he has in his office was taken by David. The family pictures we have in our home were taken by David. David, I don't know if every family member were calling me yesterday asking, is this the David that used to come to your house? Is this the David that was part of Mr. Bundo's anniversary celebration? David is gone for
that is the David for you. That is the David for me. And in fact, one thing about David was that he was somebody who never denied, you know, a duty. He was always, you know, at somebody's service. Now, David, for example, every good producer at the SLBC,
we want to work
with David. Because the thing is that you know, David was a quality assurance. David by itself, he was not only an individual, he was an institution.
David will have to climb on top of people's property just to get the right shot he wants.
Definitely.
David. Well, we also have with us another girlfriend of David, because he always called her my love. David, all the ladies at the SBC, David used to call us my love. He would just come and stand behind you and say my love. You have to answer. If you cannot answer, then David will not stop. Esther Saku is the presenter and reporter here at the SLBC, and she's also here to share her memories with the late man. Good morning, Esther.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. It's with a heavy heart I'm here to talk about David. David, I always call him the perfectionist. You cannot talk about David and not mention his professionalism, his dedication to work. David is someone that is caring. You cannot talk about David without mentioning his caring attitude towards everybody. David is, I cannot talk about David without mentioning his always a disturbing soul. I'll say that. He will see you sitting down quiet, he'll come and meet you. I make you feel so I told you the conflict problem. But smile back. Is that kind of person. We are definitely going to miss David. David, whenever like what Sheko said, is someone that does not deny any work. David, whether either it be human interest story, any other story, when you call him, David, I want to do this story, tell you, okay, do a sketch and send it to me so we know how we work on the story. He will never tell you I'm not available. I could recall the last time I had a story to do at the Ministry of Tourism. There was no camera operator around. When I met him, I said, David, nobody know if I go do this story. And they said, okay, I will lock the office and go with you, no problem. So he's that kind of person. David is loving. Whenever we argue a lot about football, he's a fan of Man City. So whenever we have matches, we say, would they beat Tunabo? And I was telling you guys are not going to beat us, so we are now prepared for you guys. We are no more afraid of Man City as before. So he's that kind of person. He's an all-rounder. Whenever we talk about our sons, I will always disturb him. David, try born back. They will tell me, you in fact sorry for one say because you picking on 10 years. So we used to argue, and he would tell me, everything Emmanuel is trying, Emmanuel is doing well, Emmanuel is creative. You will not talk to David, he doesn't mention Emmanuel. Hey, David and Emmanuel. Slbc is going to miss David. Everybody will miss David. David will see you sitting down and come. You, good morning, my love. Good morning, my love. Unless you answer him, he will not leave you. Then I will tell him, good morning. Go now, you do so.
Let's talk about decency. You know, when at the Slbc, we are very cautious, or we are very meticulous about our looks. Even the cameramen, the camera operators. You know, when you are not decent, you see staff, they will just keep away from you. But David was this one neat and decent cameraman. David was very decent.
Like I said, he likes perfection, so everything should be perfect.
David was neat.
Whenever, if I'm the news reader in the morning, at times when I'm on here, you will see me on the screen, and he will come. You, I close Benzo, class later. It just likes everything to be perfect. Even if it's a story, let's say coverage, you see David with different gadgets. He has his mic there. He has 2 cameras for just to get perfection.
He was a man of gadgets.
Perfect. He liked perfection.
You know, or he liked, having, gadgets all around him. And in fact, he told me the last time. There was a time we went to the airport to cover. There was this. I think the visit of the Indian vice president. David was having gadgets all over his body.
The one he asked me, what is this for? Perfect sound. I want perfect sound.
That's why I said earlier, David by itself, he was an institution, not only an individual. And he was also an epitome of, he was an institution. He was somebody who, in fact, there was a time when it was really nice to be, on assignment with David, Suluku and George Lewis, who is now in the United States. When you see these guys discussing camera, I would say, oh, you guys, I know you're all professionals in camera, but please let us do the work first, and after which I'll come for special lectures. And that was the kind of man that we've lost. So all of these people are saying about David. Somebody say, okay, so when somebody dies,
they'll say
all
things.
All people are saying about him is true. That was exactly what.
To know that what we are saying is true. Sometimes we even get annoyed with David because he takes you by just getting you to do what is perfect. Sometimes you say, but David to get that, David to get that, David will create problem for you until you get the right thing done.
At the end of the day, the thing is that at the end of the day, he was a result-oriented person. At the end of the day, when he provided or provides, the pictures you needed, and you see quality, that is the time you come to appreciate him, to say, oh, the advice David was giving was right advice. That was the man. That was exactly what he was. So, viewers, it's not sugar coated. What we are saying here is not just to paint him to be a good man. He was indeed a good man. David was a good man. He is a man that we've lost here at the broadcasting house. And his loss is not only a loss for Slbc. It is a loss for journalism. It is a loss to the country. And it is a loss to his family, because David was a very caring person. David cared about his mother.
He saw
everything he was doing my mother. This particular money I've got is for my mother. That was the man. Okay, the program you're still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television. Well, more colleagues are coming in, but we have to go for a gig. Well, we invited some other people to come earlier, who are here for us to come talk about, but as they can understand, because we are morning, and then this program is predominantly a program for David. But then, however, we have time to talk to them for a few minutes for them to actually talk about what they're here for. But we go for a very short break, and we'll be right back.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, It's amazing. This is Inkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Inkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa, and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Inkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
And of a program you are watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, of a program that always starts your day. On a very sad note, we still continue to mourn the demise of our colleague, David Williams, senior camera operator at the SLBC. We lost him yesterday in a road accident between Loco and Cambia. He was, to cover a program that was being organized, by BAN, that is the Budget Advocacy Network, Gambia. A program that never happened because
they also lost their finance officer.
Just the finance, okay, very beautiful lady, young as she was, Emily Kuruma. Her name is Emily Kuruma.
She'll be laid to rest today.
Yeah, she'll be laid because she's a Muslim. But as we speak, the remains of David is at present at the Matthews funeral parlor, and then funeral arrangements, are on the way, and details will be released to the public later. However, as I told you earlier, we have some guests here in the studio. Even though we don't have much time to talk to them because of what we have at hand right now. We have Dr. Obakamba. He is the Secretary General of the Pediatric Association of Sierra Leone, as they are organizing, or they are having the first anniversary. Well, they'll be talking about malnutrition. That is going to be the theme for this first anniversary of the Pediatric Association of Sierra Leone. And here represented is Dr. Obakar Ba. He is the Secretary General for the Pediatric Association of Sierra Leone. Good morning, Dr. Ba, and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, Piers.
So, what more do you want us to know about this organization, especially so when you are having your first anniversary and your theme for this anniversary is malnutrition?
Yes, first of all, on behalf of the association, I would like to extend our sincere condolences to David's family and the Slbc crew for a very uncertain news that we were not expecting. For my presence here, I know that everybody is talking very good about him. We wish him a restful eternity. So, the Pediatric Association will be launching, will be having its first anniversary this Friday at the new Place Hotel. The theme for this as the organization is breaking the cycle, ending childhood malnutrition in Sierra Leone. As a pediatrician working in pediatric facility, we realize that we have a lot of babies coming with malnutrition, and it's something that is preventable by basic education. Breastfeeding is the key, and most of these mothers don't know what to give when they have a baby. Breastfeeding should be for the first 6 months after birth, and then we have complementary feeding. But we have a lot of issues surrounding what are the choices to give, and malnutrition can affect children. It can affect their growth and their development. We want babies to be growing well and healthy. Our vision, that's the association, is to ensure that we have quality health care for all children living in Sierra Leone, irrespective of tribe, location, wherever. And we plan to have this anniversary and then also have a symposium which also linked with childhood malnutrition. We want their growth to be picked up very early when they have issues in terms of identifying possible conditions, including malnutrition, that can affect their growth and development, because we want our future leaders to be growing well and then healthy.
So now let us know, the film is, ending childhood malnutrition. Let us know the present state or the state of affairs, insofar as childhood malnutrition is concerned in this country. And to which or what level have you been able to address? Because as pediatricians, you are the ones who deal with, they call you what? Baby doctor or Peking doctor?
Peking doctor.
Doctor. So tell us, because you are the ones who are at the forefront, trying to take care of babies. Tell us, how serious is this situation in Sierra Leone?
Yes, so malnutrition is a very serious condition, and it can affect a child's growth. So you have various manifestations, signs and symptoms that can affect a child with malnutrition. Some are visible that you can see them, some are invisible, you cannot see them, except for us pediatricians that are working in the field. So in terms of their economic and brain development, they can have some impairment in their academic performance. A child who is well nourished compared to a child that is malnourished, if you compare the academic performance, the one who is malnourished will not be able to perform, because there is a condition we call hidden hunger. Even though you see the child is well, you cannot see any obvious, but they have some micronutrient deficiency that can affect their performance. So these are the conditions that we want to identify early, and then we treat. We don't want this time. We are doing a series of activities before the conference. We just launched and have a health walk this Saturday, and yesterday we did an outreach program wherein we go to the communities, try to identify those who are malnourished, and then bring them back to the facility. So we start treatment earlier, just to break the cycle, because malnutrition is cyclical. If a child is malnourished, the tendency for that child to grow up being malnourished, and then for ladies or women, they can also be malnourished and then giving back to a malnourished child. So we want to break that cycle, and we are doing it in different approaches. We have the community engagement and sensitization, as well as doing some program within the facility where we screen them and then advise them to do what in terms of treatment, what type of food they should take, and then in terms of breastfeeding, they should do exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months. We don't want them to be given milk, water during the first 6 months. Breast milk is the best, and there is no substitute that is equivalent to breast milk.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Obakar Ba. He is the Secretary General of the Pediatric Association of Sierra Leone. They are observing a year of existence in this country, and their theme is ending childhood malnutrition. Okay, we'll still continue with the program, and the program you're still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television. Okay, now we have Jonathan Changa, who is also who is the president of the National Union of Kono Students, and he's here to talk to us about well, he has concerns about current happenings in Kono district, especially the ones that have to do with the operation of mining companies, and also the plight of workers working for those companies in Kono. Welcome to the program, Jennifer.
Yeah, good morning.
So what are your concerns? You are students of Kono, and all of these things are happening. Workers being laid off, and then companies also folding up, as the case may be. So what are some of the things that you want to share for?
Before I actually respond to that particular question, and on behalf of our union, and we also may want to extend our deepest condolences for the loss of our brother, but your colleague specifically, David. May his soul rest in peace. I want to encourage you and take out and see how it goes. Now, to the question, considering the happenings and in Kono district, it's actually paying us a negative effect. For us as students, it's affecting us because considering the workers there are our parents, uncles, aunties, friends, and all. And us as students, we've been sponsored by them. So imagine if these people are off without salary and all. Now we struggle for lunch, we even struggle for fee and so on. So it actually paying us a negative effect. Challenging for us as students.
So what do you think now should be the quick fix to address this particular situation?
Of course, considering and following the entire process and so, we actually craving on the central government, led by His Excellency the President, Julius Madabio, the Minister of Mines, and also the Labour Minister, for them to actually rush in order to handle this thing, to prevent some further negative effect. Because whatever happens, the HE is the president, he's our dad. Yeah, so we actually want Kono to continue being matters to him, and handling that thing, it will actually, like I said, it will help to prevent some danger negative effects on us, like the economic part, increase of violence, and possibly armed robbery. If over 900 workers, or let's say 1,000, they've been laid off without benefit, without salary, and so salary not running, and so you out of that 1,000, let's say all of these people are breadwinners. Let's say 10 people being attached to one. You do the multiplication and get an answer. It's over how many thousand people that are currently down. It affecting anyways. So we urgently calling central government, especially HE the president, to handle this matter and get it solved, to get a table discussion. We are students and we actually not bothering ourselves as to and who is actually right, who is wrong here. All the parties that are involved in this fight are important. They are very important. The economy is important, and the lives of our people as well is important. So we want to get ourselves off to determine as to who is doing wrong, who is doing right, but rather to get a roundtable discussion and get this entire issue solved.
But then, have you made advances? Have you made any attempts to talk to authorities concerned? Because the thing is, as you said, it is affecting you as students, because some of those guys who have been laid off are breadwinners. So have you made any attempt at trying to talk to authorities concerned?
Yes, of course, as students, and we've done over 3 to 4 publication which we've shared from the genesis of the entire fight when it was taken to the public. We've tried, of course we commend Her Excellency, the First Lady, and the bold step that she took and all. So from her part, we've also tried to get in touch with her as a mother, us being students, and in order to actually get a discussion around it and see how we present our own position in order to handle it, and then extend our appreciation to him in handling and fight for the liberation of our place, and then transforming the lives of our parents in Kono district. But then it's actually challenging. We've tried to meet with several stakeholders from Kono and all. But I tell you, one of the problems that we are facing is a lot of stakeholders from the district are hesitating in order to have their say in this particular thing. I don't know if it possibly is something that is surrounding it, and so, or how the entire process got started. Yeah, when you ask certain stakeholders, you meet, no sooner you start talking about the Koiduolin issue, they will get off.
So they are shying away from the issue. Is that what you say?
Yes, some will tell you that, and they've already accused them. They've already accused them of them being in support of Party A or Party B. That is the parties that are involved in the fight I'm referring to, not political party. That these people and the paramount chief is A supporting the company, this paramount chief is supporting this, they don't have the people's interests, and so a lot of people are shying away, telling you that they are taking time, careful, in order to have their say in this particular issue.
So everybody is shying away?
Of course.
So what do you think should be the last resort?
Well, like I say, I think the result, it's where I started. Yeah, asking the central government to handle this. I tell you, for now, it's hitting us as Kono. Yeah, where you have over 200 to 300 or 400,000 people living. It's actually hitting us today. But remember, by extension, that company as well is paying a huge amount of tax to the central government. They are not just mining there because they want to. So because of that, in as it will be growing, it will also affect the country's economy. So by that, we're seeking and then we're asking and then HE to actually involve in this fight.
All right.
Delay is actually danger. And one characteristics of good governance or good leader is responsiveness.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. He is Jonathan Changa, the president of the Kono Students Union National. Jonathan Changa. Well, he has just been talking to us about situation in Kono and how he wants the central government to intervene. Now, as we still continue to mourn our loss, David Williams died yesterday in a road accident between Loco and Cambia. His mortal remains are currently at the Matthews funeral panel as funeral arrangements are on the way. Well, quickly, in a few seconds, Mr. Bar, the Secretary General for the Pediatric Association of Sierra Leone. Well, where are you having your event, and what are your expected outcomes? You have to be very, very brief.
Yes, so the event will take place at the New Buffet Hotel on Friday the 30th. The Vice President is the keynote speaker and will be here to launch the Scaling Up Nutrition movement, 11 commitments. So members of the public are invited, although we have some limitations, but feel free to attend and then see how you can benefit from the program.
All right, okay, thank you so much. Well, that is how we say goodbye. Well, we are still in a morning mood as our colleague David Williams passed on yesterday in a road accident between Loco and Cambia. Well, want to say all of us, workers here at the Slbc, from the Director General, the board, staff, management of the Slbc, want to extend our deepest condolences to our bereaved family, wife, the son, because David has a son, Emmanuel, and other family members. Want to say Osh, as David's loss is not only a loss to his family, but also to the nation and to the Slbc and to this media fraternity. Well, on behalf of the entire production team and to all of those who paid glowing tribute to David, I want to say let us all mourn as believers. Well, that is how we say goodbye. I am Sheikh Usmaila.
Francis Bernard is my name. Good morning.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa, and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this praising my Savior all the day long. Perfect submission, perfect delight, visions of rapture now burst on my sight. Angels descending bring from above echoes of mercy, whispers of love. Perfect submission, all is at rest. I in my Savior am happy and blessed, watching and waiting, looking above, filled with His goodness, lost in His love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior.